Okay, guys, so now we'll continue. And in this video, last video, we explained you how to get an user attribute. And in this video, we'll see how to set one to one specific object. Let's say if you want to set to see it, you will need to go to properties, and then in this properties, uh, this is already there in our case. Now we want to set. So instead of for setting it for datum plane, um, for setting it, we'll just try to delete it first. We don't want this anymore. Or let's click undo so that the object will be there. We'll go back again and then we'll delete only the attribute. Click OK. Now, if you see the datum plane doesn't have any attribute to it. Now we want to set for all the data planes. Let's say we want to set one attribute and the name of this attribute to be origin data, origin datum, and it should be an integer. It's not an array. And we want to set an integer value, for example, then set the value to 0, for example, now. So for that case, instead of getting a user attribute, there should be something called set, right? So I'll check whether is there any attribute to set it. Say if I say attribute again, att, it will give me all the methods which belongs to what. Here it says there are many attributes available. Here you have something called set attribute. Okay, well, we can see what it says here. It says give a title and a value, but here it says deprecated. So what does deprecate means? That we will also see in this video. Attribute, and then there we have something called a set attribute. We don't know what this method does, but it says it's deprecated. We'll go back to the documentation to it, and here it says in the, if you see the documentation, it says here don't use this method, use another method which was already created. Use this method which is much more reliable and it is deprecated in NX 8.0. So sometimes we may get some APIs may get deprecated in older versions. They might upgraded the method. Now this new we should use the new method, and it says set user attribute. So now instead of using set attribute, we need to use set user attribute. If I remove it again and then say scroll down, that should be here. Here it says set user attribute. Okay, and this set user attributes needs some of the inputs, and it says attribute information need to be an input, or it says there is one more update options need to be an input. Okay, we don't know what it is. We can go to this documentation, and here if you see there are same method have, if you see the all the methods, you see the all of this method has same name, but only the input is different. Here we set a value. Here we directly pass an index and then set title. So here this type encoding, this type of coding have a name. I would recommend you to type that in the comment section. Tell me what is called if the method names are same but the input are different or the arguments are different. Then it's called it's there is a name in no comes up. Let me know in the comment section what is the name. Or if you don't know, that's fine. You can search in internet and then learn about it. So here it says there are 4 methods available with the same name. So in this case, you can use any of this method based on your requirement. So in our case, we are going to say I'm going to use this method because I know the title, I know this value, but the value is not in this case the value is string. So I cannot able to use this. I can use this one where I can say set a title and an index, and the value is an integer value that we are going to pass, and there is an update options here. So we can use this should be our method that we are going to use in this project. So I'll go back to the code and then say, okay, I have I already have changed this name. Now what we are going to do, we are going to pass here. It's a title. We don't know what are the arguments. There were 4 arguments here. The first argument is a title. We already passed it. The second argument is a index. So since this is not a since this method is not a uh, it's not a array attribute, so we can set it to -1. And then what is the third? The value we need to pass the value. Let's say in this case we are going to say a value as 21, for example. And then there is one on our call option, update option, where you want when you want to update. I want to update it now itself once this application runs. Is this returns any value? The answer is no, because it's void method. So we cannot able to assign it to any of this variable. And so in that case, we cannot able to set any variable value, and then we don't need this piece of code. So now if we run this project, it goes back to the code and collects all the datum plane and then set an attribute to that datum plane with the value origin datum and with the value 21. And then it will get updated on the fly. So we'll rebuild it and then we'll go back to NX session. I'll quickly check whether I deleted. So it's deleted and then I'll rerun it here. So now what the application should do, application is finished. And then if I go to the properties, there if you set, it set to it set the thing. But if you see the categories is not set here. So we need to set the category as well. So this is an homework for you. You can try it out by yourself and share me the code in the comment section. It should be, I'll check it and then I'll reply to it. So in the same case, I want to write in a title. I need to pass a title. So I need to pass a category to it, right? We can also set it. So there is one more option to do it. Just try it out and then let me know. In the last video, I already explained you a few information. The hint is it is in the last video. Now, now I'll ask you to do uh, one more thing. This will also help you to understand how to develop this application. So now what we did is this method sets the user attribute. The previous method get a user attribute from a specific feature. So if you see my last video, there we check the type as datum plane and then get the value. Now I want to get the attribute for the whole part. So what does that mean? It means I have a part here, and if I go to the properties, there you see there are lots of attributes available. I want to get all the attributes from here and then print it in the listing window. So this is one test case that you can try. So I will also give you a few hints as well. This will also help you. So first, what you have to do, the question is we need to get attribute from the part. So we need to get the attribute from the part. So I have the part here. So this part should have some kind of an attribute method. I don't know what is the name, so I can type attribute att. So it lists all the methods with the name att in it. So here, if you see, there are different methods. Previously, we get only one method, one attribute. Now I want to go and find all the attributes. So here there is a method says get attribute and then the get user attribute. I don't know what this method does. I can go back to the documentation. It says here again the method has 2, 3 type with the same name, right? So there is one more method that we don't need to pass any variable. So we can use this technically. This will also work, or any one of this other should also work. Now, once you get this, you need to look through all these attributes and then print the value. Then print the title and the value in the listing window. I will not show in this video. I would ask you to develop this application or develop this piece of code and then share it in the comment section. I will review that code, and there are different ways of multiple ways of doing it. If you see, we can do it in many different ways. But this helps you to understand how to get all the attributes. So try it by yourself and then write this piece of code in the comment section. I will review it.